I decided that when I met Jay Foley, Jay Foley and I met at a point when I came out of senior high. I was trying to meet up with Hammer because I came into non-physical contact with Hammer in 99 when I was in primary and I had Paimuka. When I had Paimuka, I felt this is the producer I wanted to work with. So I walked through my entire journey of primary JHS SS, living my life on Hammer without his knowledge.
Right.
I got every artist he ever produced, Obrafo, Padogo, Tiny, Kwakese. I was living off these people aside the regular world hip-hop that I knew about.
They were your stepping stones to Hammer.
Yes.
You could have called me, I would have taken you right there to Hammer. Just kidding.
Yes, and so when I came out of SHS, I wanted to meet him so badly. But then I met Jay Foley, who was also a student of Hammer trying to produce beats. And he was in tech, and I had come out of senior high. So we started working together. Because I didn't have money to book studios.
Of course.
I always move in a way I impress everybody with my skill for them to be able to want to get me into the studio.
Right.
So it was myself, Jay Foley, Trigmatic.
Trig was in that crew.
Trig was with us. There was Easy, who was in the picture way back then, and we used to spend time in a studio called D Sharp. So I think D Sharp was one of my early days, but before that, my sister gave me 800 Ghana CDs, which is like 8 CDs now. Back then,
Yes.
2003, to do my first demo, and she said, "This is all I have. If your demo is not able to get you a deal, then
I've
there
done
you
my
go."
part.
Yes, so she gave me the money before I was ready to record. 20 Ghana CDs of that money I'd squandered before ready to record. So I had to walk every time from Sakumono to Temavision 66 AB studio to record. And then when I was recording, Chenfe was out and he'd come to the studio. And there was another guy called Tuga. Hey, big up to Tuga. And one time he walked into the studio and said, "I think there's something different about you and what you're doing. And I think if you continue, you'll be able to break grounds." And then when I did the demo, I didn't get any help. And there was no money for me to continue. So I said, okay, I'll prove myself worthy for somebody to want to fund me.
Your next project, yeah.
So Jay Foley and I will spend time in the studio. When people come to book sessions, it's usually 8 hours for every studio session. He will make sure he works for them for about 4 hours so that we could get
a few
hours for him to produce his beats, for me to lay vocals on it. And it was ongoing until I met Hammer that same year, 2003. And then I was with him 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in 2009 when my debut album came out.
Wow. How was it like when you definitely met Hammer for the first time? Because you had been following him for a while.
Well, when I met him, I remember what I said to him. I told him, I think I'm talented, but I think that it's raw. And I feel that he can let me harness the better part of it. So he said, wait outside the studio. I would attend to you. Then he was with Shushu. They were like the big guys. And so I waited outside the studio. I went to Hammer around 9 in the morning, and I was sitting outside the studio till like 12 midnight.
Did he forget about you in the mix? He probably got into
his work, and he'll come out, glance at you, attend to other people who were the dignitaries, if I can say, at that time. And when it was 12, he came out and said, the session is done, so I can go home and I should find time to come to the studio. So I'll come to the studio randomly. Sometimes I meet him in the studio. Sometimes I don't meet him. And then after some time, he gave me his number. He'll call me. I remember from time to time, I'll get down at Circle, the overhead, and walk all the way to Awudome Estates where the studio is.
Wow.
Sometimes you get to the studio, he's canceled the session, and it's like 11 p.m. in the night. So you just have to sleep on the bench so that you can wake up around 4, walk back to Circle, catch a ride, and go back to Sakumono. And it was back and forth like that until he was about to release the Kiss the Bride compilation in 2004. But when he was about to release it, I was in radio school, and I didn't get wind of the fact that there was an audition going on, so I missed the train. And then it was after a couple of years that he decided to do Crusade of the Lost Files. And then I got his attention, and that was when we really got into the studio. So technically, I got into the studio with Hammer in 2006. This is about 2 years after getting to meet him.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that must have been a trip. But anyway, hey, God is good, and He has time and a place for everything. So I guess that was basically what was happening. But since we are only just human beings, we can't just bring it down. Okay, let's see. Some messages have come in. Hi, Edem. My name is Afrigogo from Agbogloshi. Please, the Ghana dancehall industry is seriously in need of your talent. Please give it a try and experience a massive comeback. But why Timberland business? Please, how and where did you meet your wife for the first time? You want to answer that?
Yeah, I met my wife at Frankie's
Oh.
for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we ran into each other. We said hi, and after that, we connected on Facebook. Very early days of Facebook, and we spoke from time to time.
And we're here now.
Yes, and I think the time we really got close, I think I wasn't feeling too well, and she just came online and she asked me what's up, and I said I wasn't feeling too well, and then after that she came back in the evening to check on me, and then I thought this person was like very concerned about my health, and after that after I got well, I took time off, got to meet her in her home, in front of the house, not inside the house. Yes, in front of the house.
We weren't going to ask that detail.
Yeah, she was wearing a blue jean skirt.
Oh boy, they never forget that detail,
yes,
right?
and a white top, and then we exchanged pleasantries, and then Hammer drove me off.
Same Hammer.
Yes.
Oh gosh. I know, always right there for you.
Yes.
Okay, there was a question about the Timberland business.
Yes, so I decided to identify with doing something that's Timberland related because we realized that people want originals. People want the authentic ones, but there was none in the market. And Timberland is somehow synonymous with the Edem brand because Timberland stands for something that stands the test of time.
Right.
It's very rugged, it's very raw. People know how my videos are, my visuals, my attitude. And so I feel that if my brand has to sell something, anything it has to sell has to be original, has to be authentic. And so that's why I identified with Timberland. So our shop is all the way Community 25 around the C25 mall. You can get us over there and we'll give you original. Say no to fake. Say no to fake.
Okay, say
God
no.
doesn't like fake.
God doesn't like fake. But at this juncture, like they say, I shall be sending you an invoice. Amen.
Amen.
5 minutes to 11. Let's take a quick break.
Primary, I went to Queensland International School, then over to Calvary. SS, I went to Ghana Christian International High School, that's in Dodoa.
Right.
And then I went to Central University College.
Right. Okay, Linda, your question is answered, right? You heard that beautiful
Yes.
voice from Mrs. Edem.
Now leave me alone.
Okay, somebody wanted to know more.
And I said, give me, let me also give it a shot. So he gave me the number. I called, Hammer made the time for me. Now my first recording with Hammer, we were 2 in a group. We were actually 3 in a group after SHS. We were called Bleu. It was myself, it was Paradise, and it was Osebo. One was a dancehall artist, one was a Chi rapper, and then I was doing the Ewe. When we met Hammer, Hammer wanted us to prove ourselves as individuals. And after that he said, you guys, I think that the speed at which Edem is going, he will have to be a solo artist. So he technically broke up the group.
Even before it started.
Yes, even before it started, and made us come to the studio as individuals. Then after hearing me rap in his home in Medina, he said I should come to the studio. So I went to the studio, he created a beat, and then made me rap to it, sing to it, and then he played another beat. And then he said, do I have something else? I said, yes, I did it. He played another beat. He said, do I have something else? I said, yes, and then I did it. So, tiny, sorry, man. So one time along the line, Hammer was supposed to produce the remix of I Believe I Can Fly for Tiny.
Right.
He went to the studio in the night, produced the beat, and in the morning I went to visit him at home. And he said, this is a new beat I have, which is for I Believe I Can Fly, the remix. I want to see what you have. I did something to it, and he called up Tiny and said he had misplaced the beat. Because he said the beat was going to be the first beat of the album he's going to record for me.
Right.
It was surreal, because I went home, I was thinking, is this guy really going to record an entire album for me? In the evening, he called me, he was like, where are you? So the tables turned. He started calling me, where are you? Have you eaten? Don't go out too much. Take care of yourself. Stay indoors. Write them all. I didn't understand it. And he said I should come to the studio. I went to the studio. We recorded 2 songs in one night. And then he said, I think you are ready to take on the world. So it was sessions after sessions. And we recorded Nyonu Viade. I'll go home, come back into the studio and hear a verse from Kwabena. Now I'll be blown away. We did Woli. I go home. He'll go to the studio without my knowledge. I come back, there's Samini on it. I'll be blown away. I go, I come back. Then there's Tiny on Bra from me. And it was on. And it took us 2006 to 8 to record the entire album.
Wow.
And then took us a year to get funding for the album.
Well, did you think that in all that time when you were going back to the studio to record, did you think that your time was being wasted because you probably might have felt that, oh, he's wasting my time, I want a single out, I want an album out?
No, I think that once Hammer and I got into that zone, I felt I was home.
Right.
I spent so much time with him. It became a bigger brother, younger brother situation where we all fell in line, the same vision.
Good.
It wasn't 2 people apart.
No.
It was him and I chasing one thing to prove to the world that you can still sound different and still make the required impact.
Right.
So I was in line with his vision all the way through. Yes, there were points when hope was lost because there will be a long break because of finances. Trying to get help wasn't forthcoming. And along the line, there were a lot of times where people told him to decline the project because it wouldn't succeed because it was Ewe and predominantly Ewe. And they thought his comeback with Ewe after Kiss the Bride was a wrong direction for him to take as a music producer, and that it was risky.
Right.
But we went for it over and over, made sure we perfected everything until we got the ears of the people.
Hammer is a perfectionist, so I
yes,
guess
you know
you also inherited
yes,
that.
Yes, thanks for putting food on my table. I appreciate
So
you.
tell me something. You've spoken about all this time where you kept going back and forth trying to record and get an album out. At that time, did you have a side job, or were you just stone broke and you were just praying and hoping that this album was going to work and you were going to live on it?
I didn't have a side job.
Holy cow.
I didn't want a side job. I felt it was going to distract me. The only points I did stuff went for all this. I think I went for an audition at TV3 to be a newscaster. At one point they said my reading was okay, but I had to get a degree and come back. I've forgotten the name, but he's the dark, tall guy at TV3 who used to be on the news, but now is behind the scenes, has this mustache. I've forgotten his name.
Yeah,
yes.
I know the guy you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
Yes, and then I think I went for, back then it was E-Talk on the same program, and then I think I went to Choice FM after Rabodev to try to get a job. But then at a point I realized that I have to dedicate my entire time. I have to spend the whole day listening to music.
Right.
I have to spend like 3 months learning just harmonies of the music. So I'm listening to a song and I'm listening to the back of the song
and not the lyrics or
not the
anything.
lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm trying to study beat patterns. I'm trying to study how did people make it work. This is Dr. Dre. This is a Timberland. This is a Quincy Jones. This
Right.
is so I went all out
You were
for
devoted
years
to what you wanted to
it.
produce.
Yes, I was broke. My sister just supported me from time to time. I didn't want to create any side hustle.
Right.
Not at all.
You just had to stay
I just they
focused.
hung, they do my thing, Charlie.
Right,
And
right.
they hung, they go.
But tell me, in as much as we all realize that you rap in Ewe, do you actually write the lyrics in Ewe?
Yes, boss.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
Did you learn to read and write Ewe when you were growing up?
Yes,
Brilliant.
my mom exposed me to
Brilliant.
to it. She said it's your tongue, and you have to be able to speak it properly. So I learned it. I wouldn't say I'm a pro like prim and proper, but I learned it and I can write most of it. And so everything I write it myself. Every construction, I write it myself. When I need references as to how the thing should be constructed, the best place I go to is, in the past used to actually be the Ewe Bible. I look for proverb books,
Right.
because they have the right constructions
Right.
of the written ones. And
Right.
so everything I write myself.
Wow. And for those of us who don't understand the Ewe proper, do you put like major proverbs in the song that should blow our minds?
All right,
even
so-
though we don't understand it?
Yes, on the debut album, The Volta Regime, I carved that entire album to give pride to the region.
Right.
But as I was evolving, I wanted to cross over to people who don't understand it. And for people who don't understand it, this is the math to it. It is more about pattern and funk
Right.
and vibe.
Yeah.
So I made it more urban, where you could hear some pidgin in there, where you could hear some. But from time to time, I still put in proverbs, and I still put in things that are core to the culture.
Right.
Yes.
And why? I mean, everybody else was rapping in Tree, Pidgin, English, or, Oga. Why did you choose to rap in Ewe?
I think that I don't like to conform. It's been my type. I never used to conform when I was in school. I never used to conform when I was in Bishop Herman. And so I felt that for me to get people's attention, I needed to, let me say, quote unquote, be mad with what I wanted to do, as in do something that will make everybody say, are you okay? This is not the norm.
Yeah.
And sometimes doing what is not the norm actually gets you attention faster than doing what was the norm. There's a saying, I hope I get it right, like regular or average people seldom make history, they say, that type
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
And so that's the reason I decided, and I think Hammer was a key part. He said, go for it, and people buy into it, and it's a new dawn, Charlie. It's a new dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is a new dawn. And when you wrote this, you actually wrote this song in Ewe. It actually also made you really big, and I'm sure it's a song that
Saman kudi, saman kudi, saman kudi. Kabaye jina nana. Any mini money more, listen, we giving it to the Joe or the dance floor, busy be a mother come more now to infinity. See the girl them the upon head top, to the ballad them make champagne pop. No rest, no stop, no we can't stop, swing to the basket, skidoo. Get them on.
well, like I said before, this song was
And so we have to continue to, I'm not saying you shouldn't do English songs, but we have to continue to position our various languages on a global scale, and people would identify with it.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
yeah, the language shouldn't be a barrier because
Yes,
we
yes,
listen to
yes,
the others
yes,
and we
yes,
still
yes.
enjoy it. Okay, I'm trying to take a break, but I can't because I want to just go into this little topic of you growing up without your parents but with a big sister. You still wanted to do music. You didn't stray from it. You weren't a bad boy. How did you keep your head straight?
No, I think that I'm a bad boy. you have to be a bad boy to be able to know that you have to grow up. I think that's it. I've done all the things that an average kid growing up would do, things that will put you in trouble. But I think that after my parents passed away, somehow everything they used to say started lingering in my head, and that has gone a long way to shape me. I think I'm just trying to be better every day. So anything that I feel doesn't help, how do I outgrow it and how do I become better? Because now the most important thing for me is to be a role model for my kids.
I was definitely going to go there because
Nothing,
I just want
yes,
to find out.
I felt I was a role model for a group of people when I started doing music until
Right.
I had my kids, and I realized that comes before anything else. And so for that, I have to continue to find myself I have to continue to grow. I have to continue to be better at everything.
Right.
Yes, and so that is the reason that I've become a good boy.
Yeah, I guess maybe growing up and your experiences also has influenced what you do now for your kids. You have 2 boys or 2 girls or one of each?
One of each.
One of each. You're
Yes,
blessed.
perfecto.
You're blessed. You're blessed. How old are they now?
One is 6, one is 2.
Okay, 6 and 2.
Yes.
And together, how do you both try to, manage and try to say, okay, we want to raise these kids this way?
You want to say? Well,
you can share it. You can say your part, and you can also say your part, Mrs. Edem.
well, I think that you never really tell. We have a game plan to make sure they grow up with the best opportunities around them.
Right.
To make sure that we try to improve our parenting skills because we are young, but at the same time, somehow there's a new challenge every other day.
Right.
That's what I can say.
Yeah. You want to throw in your 2 cents?
No, I think it comes naturally.
It comes naturally.
Day in, day out, you learn from your surroundings, from what you hear, from what you see, from your parents, from your husband, from people you don't even expect. It just comes naturally like that.
Yeah. And any of your kids showing any signs of music? Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No, I think today is Tuesday, so my daughter is starting ballet class today.
Yeah.
Hey, congrats to Sally, you are starting ballet class. She loves music. My son will let you not turn down the music.
Aha.
Yeah.
Maybe Sally likes to dance and the boy wants to do the music. You never know. But
Yeah,
I mean, do you think that it's also something that you would like to encourage your kids to do when you realize later in life that this is what
She
you want
wants
to do?
our son to play football. Yeah, so she wants our son to play football.
And what if he doesn't like football?
Um,
Whatever he likes to do, you'll encourage
You know,
him?
at the end of it all, it's his choice,
True.
or what he
Yeah, but-
wants, what
yeah.
he's comfortable
Comfortable with,
with.
yeah.
Yes.
I agreed with her to some extent that if we take him through it and he doesn't even become a footballer, the discipline is
Alone.
good for
True.
it's good for him. So
True.
we'll start him early with it so that his discipline knows how to wake up, know how to listen when people say do A, B, C, D, because we think that is what is needed.
Yeah.
But yes, we have to just create an environment for them to be people who become very positive in whatever they do. I think that'll be it.
Yeah. I think you're on the right path, and we just pray that you have the real guidance from God to also
Thank you.
enlighten your path and help you raise good,
Thank you.
responsible children.
Thank you.
We're about 27 minutes to midday already. Don't worry, we still got a lot to talk about.
Well, I think for the people or those of us who are in it the longest, everybody has learnt a lot of things. For those who are emerging, there's new exciting music and sound that they are creating. The internet has cut down the borders, so everybody's creativity is more of how somebody across the border can also relate. And the new school is finding creative ways to use social media to impact the music and cut out any forms of payment of any sort to get the music played. So everybody's focused on growing their following directly so that they can consume the music
Right.
without having to go through a third party. We are lacking the presence of means of buying the music online, which is a setback. When you look at every Ghanaian artist and their iTunes, their biggest sales are still from the US or the UK or Australia,
Right.
which means that the credit card system here is not so strong for people who
To
are
be able to-
consumers to be
yeah.
able to buy. Also, I think we are still fighting the old age problem of artists not getting paid royalties, which is actually the future of every artist after years of work. There's still the absence of data and information which will encourage anybody to want to invest in the music. You can't go to any bank because you don't have information. You can tell any bank how much money a download is going to make for you when the music comes out. You can tell any bank how many people are going to watch your video and how much you're going to get for it. And so these are the things and the challenges. Also, what I've learned over the years is that it gets to a point where your brand becomes so big, and you want to be able to remunerate it according to what you feel you deserve, but promoters also don't have sponsorships, and so they are not able to pay for it, and you the artist might also want to cut out. At the same time, there have been some great strides. Nigeria and Ghana collaborating has become very, very frequent. People are looking elsewhere. Kenya, people are doing collaborations. People are doing collaborations with Jamaicans. People are doing collaborations with people in the US. So the internet has also opened up how people perceive the Ghanaian brand now. People don't see it as a local brand anymore. Once you are able to associate with these other brands, people see you that you're on the scale of every other person.
Which artists
globally.
maybe outside of Ghana would you, like to collaborate with? Let's say West Coast first, and then let's go to the rest of Africa and then to the
West Coast, it will be a Kendrick.
Kendrick?
Yes, at the moment. His figures are very high. It doesn't come cheap. It doesn't come easy at all.
No. Is it only because of the figures or because you like his style of music?
No, because I like his style and because I think that he's very, very different.
Right.
And that's the reason. Other places, I would like to still do something with somebody like a Brandy. I think that if I get the chance to do something with a Chris Brown, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
He has some vibe. And so
Brandy, was it because of the fact that you grew up around her music?
yes, this is the reason. And how I came across Brandy and Kojo Entry was I went on holidays. My dad was then a district judge over Kwando and KJB. And so one of the holidays, I took a trip to go and visit him, and I think it was a second term holiday, so it was the long one, 2.5 months.
Wow.
And when I got to his place, all I took, and I forgot the rest of my cassettes, all I took was Brandy's I Want to Be Down, the entire album.
So you lived on that for
And
the
then
entire period you were
Kojo
there.
album, so I lived on that. That was
Yeah.
when I really got
Get into the
into
music.
her artistry, and so yes.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
And on the coast of West Africa, anybody next door Nigeria, anybody you want to pick out?
Yes, I think that I still greatly respect Two-Face.
Okay.
Yes, so I want to be in the studio with him.
Right.
At this point, when I want to be in the studio with people, it is because I want to learn. I want to see their thought process. I
Right.
want to see their creative process, how they
Right.
are able to
Get
come up
to
with
what
all these great
music.
songs.
Right,
so
right.
Two-Face will do the magic. I've done some stuff with MI. He's an amazing artist. I've done some stuff with Ice Prince, Ricardo. I have some new stuff with Patoranking that's unreleased.
Oh, okay.
I have some new stuff with Skills that's unreleased.
Yeah, we'll play something that's released that fairly new in a little bit. Let's
Yes.
get to your text messages. Well, Joan in Pokwasi says, Doreen, Edem is so eloquent. I love this guy. Number 9 for life. And that's John for you. There's another one here. It says, it's been a long, difficult and ugly road from people not accepting us to a time where it's we they want to listen to. I am Edem is a fighter. Just know all Gedamites and the hashtag Bevu natives are behind you.
Hey,
till
big
then.
up Bevu natives, man. Don't know.
BRMG for
For
life.
life. Get 'em.
Hashtag Info Komla from Gapoa. Doreen, Charlie, my love for Edem be too much. Love his music. Trust me, he's doing a good job, especially rapping in the Ever language. Help me, Doreen, to wish Mr. Bright's Ata, Semanu Ata, a happy birthday, Rotary Club of Accra. We'll do that for you in a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the I Am Edem Foundation before we go. We got some minutes, so we'll just
Yeah,
run
so
around that.
quickly, it was originally a Volta Regime Foundation, but then we wanted to not give people the impression that it was entirely for my region. And so Edem Foundation is a foundation where I go out to identify people who have problems, especially children, and then I try to see how I help. And I don't wait to go and look for help because I hate helping people and meeting bureaucratic roadblocks. So I just take my own funds with my team and friends. And so when maybe we are going to Togo for a show,
You stop somewhere.
we might make a stop in Akachi, identify a school on the ground. And the last time we were in a village in Akachi, we had to give books to the entire school, and it was the entire primary. And some of these kids don't come to school because they can't afford pencils.
Oh.
And for me, it was sad. And so this is what we do. And in future, not too long from now, we are partnering with another friend in the U.S. called Daniel, who has an NGO called TADME, where we are going to bring 20-footer containers of stuff that is needed, from wheelchairs to hospital beds, and be able to give it to us.
So the I Am Edem Foundation, together with your friends, will do this and give it to people. Let's talk. Let's talk about where you're looking to take your music in the next couple of years. Where do you want to see your music? Is there an album or several albums that we're looking to be released this year or the next?
Yeah, so I'm recording an album. The title is The African Answer. It will come out this year. We haven't set the time. I want it to be more global. I want it to influence people very positively. And I want it to cross over. And aside that, I just want the music, as I grow with the music, I want to be able to stay more positive as I grow, so that the impact is more for people's lives than just the hey kind of sound. And so that is what people are going to hear on the new album. Something very different, something that would excite them, and something that I think is my best work of art yet.
Okay, we're looking forward to it. Mrs. Edem, what do you wish for your husband's business?
More than progress.
More than progress. That's a good way to go.